BlackRock out with fourth quarter results earlier this morning. The world's largest asset manager now overseeing $11.6 trillion. That's with a T under management, beating on the top and bottom lines. And I spoke to BlackRock chairman and CEO Larry Fink in an exclusive interview and asked him about the alternatives business, which is a big new priority for the firm.
It is my belief for democratic economies to continue to grow and Western economies to continue to grow, we're going to have to rely more on the private sector. And the brilliance of the United States economy is based on the capital markets. And that's the role of CNBC to talk about all the different things in the role of the capital markets. We have the broadest, deepest capital markets in the world, and that's why a startup company, a small company, a medium company, a large company has access to capital like nowhere else in the world. And we underestimate the power of our global capital markets and mostly the U.S. capital markets. It is my belief that capital markets are going to become a larger and larger economic engine here in the United States and all throughout the world. I said in the editorial that we can't rely on deficits. I mean, we don't talk enough about our deficits right now. And I do believe we're going to have to rely more on the private capital, private sector. That's what President Trump's talking about in some of the new policies, and we'll see how that rolls out. So if I had a crystal ball, I would tell you right now that the sectors that are going to grow the most in the capital markets in the private space will be infrastructure.
1 year ago, just this week, we should mention, BlackRock announced the acquisition of GIP. That deal closed in October. The firm has since announced 2 more deals to acquire Preqin and HPS. And I asked Fink what is next on his wish list.
Successful integration. I mean, I would tell you.
Are there other things you say to yourself, you know, thematically we'd like to be in?
Actually, in 2023, we called it our 2030 strategy. We said we need to get much larger in private market data, and we acquired Preqin. Mm-hmm. We said we need to get much larger in infrastructure. We had a growing infrastructure team. We were doing really well in it, but we're not growing as fast as I perceive the market. We had one target. That was GIP. And we said in this strategy session in 2023, we need to get much larger in private credit. And we had only one target, HPS. And the beauty of last year is we only had 3 targets, and we acquired all 3 targets. I don't have any new targets going forward. I can't. Right. And I'm not in the market right now buying more companies. We may do some minority investments, but we're not going to be, I don't believe you'll see BlackRock in the market buying whole companies.
Also this morning, BlackRock announcing one of its top executives, Mark Weeden, who spent more than 2 decades at the firm, departing. Weeden is the head of global client business and was considered a potential successor to Fink. And I asked him what the announcement means for succession plans at the firm.
Mark is a dear friend. He will remain a dear friend. I mean, he is a really true dear friend of mine. Mark came to me 6 months ago talking about what ifs and all that stuff. And he's been at the firm 20 years, and he said, you know what, I'm looking for a new chapter. Mm-hmm. And over time, and he wasn't decisive back then, but as we talked and talked and talked, it was very clear that he was going to go down a new path. I don't believe we've ever had a deeper, broader bench at this firm ever. And so I'm actually smiling about the ease in which a serious leader of BlackRock chooses a new direction in his life. Right. That I had many options. And it was we worked with the board, with the management team, and this has been it's really a moment of joy. Not that Mark is leaving, but he's leaving with a hug and he's leaving with a lot of grace. There's a beautiful memo that's going to be out this morning about Mark and all that, and what he meant to me, and what he will mean to me in the future. Right. It means nothing. None of this was about succession.